Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Environmental Social Justice. I'm your host, Wendy Nystrom, and today's special guest is Chelsea Anderson. She is with the Net Zero Conference as well as the Vertical Group. So welcome, Chelsea.
Thank you for having me.
Anytime. So you are the Senior Partnerships and Events Manager for Vertical Group, and you've been working on the Net Zero Conference for a few years. One of my favorite conferences ever. I consider it Christmas coming early. What led you to work on sustainability events?
Yeah, so I used to live in New York and I worked for a large company that did large scale events, and seeing all of the waste that came out of the events was almost shocking. And I never really thought of actually, trying to go into an industry where you can make events sustainable. But when I came across Vertical Group, they had that opportunity, and sustainability, the earth, climate justice is something that I was always very passionate about. So it just seemed like, the perfect opportunity to bring my passion through my work. So that's kind of where I was able to jump in at Vertical Group, and I've been there for about 5 years now.
And I've seen your work firsthand because I've attended it the last few years. And just so folks understand, with events, you have a lot of paper waste. You have cups, you have paper plates, you have banners. And like a lot of times people use banners and it's a one and done thing. You're amazing because you have filling stations where people bring their own bottles. You have biodegradable plates and utensils that are real biodegradable, not that fake stuff, but real stuff. When you can use real glass, you use real glass. But what really blew my mind is when you would project something on a wall, rather than a banner that would be thrown away after the use, you project something, or you have a TV screen behind you that projects what you want to sell or talk about. People don't realize how much waste is generated, and you absolutely excelled at completely eliminating all of that extraneous waste that would end up in landfills.
Thank you. Yeah, it's not easy.
No, it's not.
It's not easy to get creative and make sure, that you make your event as sustainable as possible, especially for something that's such as large scale as the Net Zero Conference.
Yes.
I mean, we have over 1,000 attendees each year. So you're trying to reduce waste that 1,000 people, accumulate in over one day. So it's something that, our team gets very creative. We try to see how we can better ourselves each year. We have wonderful partners that help us, make sure that we're able to have these successful outcomes. And each year we try to strive for new goals and how to be more sustainable.
And you really do an exceptional job about that. And in the past couple of years, you've been at the LA Convention Center, but this year you guys moved to Anaheim.
Yeah.
So tell people about that new venue, because it is a much grander venue.
Yes. So it was not an easy decision to make. We've been at the Los Angeles Convention Center for, 3 consecutive years, minus the pandemic when we went virtual. But this year we were trying to figure out, how can we better the Net Zero Conference? How can we incorporate new experiences? Anaheim, there's a lot of different partners that we have in this area, but we're still very, focused in California. So we reached out to the Anaheim Convention Center. The dates aligned perfectly. They have some great sustainability initiatives within their building that are new, a lot of flexibility. We're actually going to be doing a tour of the Anaheim Convention Center leading up to the Net Zero Conference, and they're going to go over all of their sustainability practices. So just, the opportunities that we were able to go through with the Anaheim Convention Center seems like, the appropriate fit. And we're trying to build out the expo hall to make it large and grand, have a lot of, interactive experiences. And the Anaheim Convention Center is really, wanting to work with us to make our vision come to life this year.
You just intrigued me. What kind of interactive experiences?
Yeah. So this year, we're actually going to be hosting our first Women in Net Zero Mixer in partnership with AIA National on the Convention Center Expo floor this year. So that's going to be a first. We're really trying to highlight, women in leadership and all of the partners that support, their position. So we're super excited for that to happen this year. We're also having a wellness space with one of our sponsors, Suntory. So we're trying to bring, mindfulness, wellness, and health to our expo floor as well. We're also actually going to be bringing a sustainable book nook on the expo floor where some people are going to be coming and signing their books. So we're really trying to build out these experiences to where it's not just your traditional, exhibitor space, but how can people really have these fun interactions as well.
And I am one who does love the exhibit hall because I always learn something new. I'm going to get to that in a minute, though. I do want to talk about the history of the Net Zero Conference because is this your 11th or 12th year? I think it's your 11th year, right?
This is our 11th year hosting the Net Zero Conference. This is Vertical Group's 12th year anniversary as of August 1st.
And you guys were one of the, I always want to mention that, you guys were one of the first to actually launch a Net Zero Conference or sustainability conference, a circular, whatever you want to call it. People need to understand that you guys were a leader in doing this for knowledge sharing, education, letting people come together because there are very few people out there that's got that 10 plus years experience. And it's an intimidating group. When you come in as a novice, there's new words, jargon, acronyms, intellect. And a lot of people come in kind of timid and say, I don't really know what I'm doing. I don't know what this means. What does circularity mean? What does LCA mean? And you guys have these, you have the conference, you have keynote speakers, which I want to know who's coming. You actually have breakout groups where people can learn about something that intrigues them. And that's all in the day package. And you also have these networking events, which I love. You have a little happy hours, people get to know each other, get to meet each other socially. So sorry, I'm totally fangirling you, and I know this. I do love this event. With respect to the educational series, what kind of speakers can people expect this year? Because you've had some notable ones in the past.
Yeah. So, we have a great procurement of speakers. We have over 100 speakers that will be in attendance on September 18th with over 34 sessions. A lot of feedback, that we've received over the years is we have too much good content occurring at the same time. So
that is true.
Good problem to have, but we have some amazing speakers from all different types of industries, general contractors, manufacturers, leaders in the industry that are really going to be at the Net Zero Conference. We actually just announced our first keynote, Beatty Wolf. She is going to be an excellent addition this year, and we actually will be announcing the other two coming shortly. So I can't share their names, but I will say they are also leaders in the industry.
That is very exciting. And yes, you guys did have lots of content because last year, thank God I wore flats because I was in one conference room. I'm like, okay. And then I saw, there's another one I'm interested in. So I'd give that person half an hour of my time. This person I was running from room to room and seeing people I know, I'm like, hey, can't talk, and I'd run. And then, and that's just how it was because you guys had so many interesting things going on simultaneously. It was awesome. So much knowledge. But I'm going to talk about my favorite thing, which is the expo hall.
Yeah.
Those are cool dudes that set up in the expo hall. I'll just bring out the last year when I went, there was a guy using hemp for insulation.
Yes.
Fabulous. Let's not use toxic, awful things that will hurt your lungs. Let's just use something natural material. So what are the kind of, I know some of your expo hall people because I looked at your floor plan. What are some things that people could expect this year?
Oh, goodness. Well, like I mentioned, we're going to have so many amazing experiences. We have USGBC California. They're going to be bringing in their materials sustainability trailer, which is going to be awesome, and the Net Zero accelerators. So that's something that I always want to highlight. They have been, a wonderful partner of the Net Zero Conference since, I've started. Yeah. We also will have Southern California Edison. They have been a reoccurring huge supporter of the Net Zero Conference as well. They always do something fun and interactive on the expo floor. So I'm excited to see what they're going to do this year. And then, Centauri, they are going to be partnering on our wellness space. So they really tried to create, this Zen area for our exhibitors and attendees to kind of, feel if they need to get away from the hustle and bustle for a minute and kind of take a moment to themselves. They always have, incorporated something amazing on the expo floor. Mohawk is going to be there. I'm excited to see what they're going to do, and also the Forest Stewardship Council. So we have some really amazing exhibitors this year that I'm excited to see.
Yeah, it's always fun because I would always kind of walk up and down a few times because you always saw something new, or there was always a crowd, so I would wait for the crowds to thin. But SoCal Edison, I was a huge fan of their exhibition last year because they showed off, their ranges, their electric ranges, and how when, I'm not going to use big words for people so everyone understands, but when you have a certain type of pan, it will heat up instantly. When the pan's off it, you can touch that burner and it's cold. So it has to do, with the way the electricity works for the ranges. And what I loved about it is he had a pan that he cut in half, had chocolate chips on the pan, and then chocolate chips on the actual burner. The chips on the burner never melted. The ones in the pan melted, to show that this is not only an energy efficiency issue, a safety issue. Because I talk from personal experience. My mother said, do not touch the burner, it's hot. Hand on burner, scalded myself. Wasn't the brightest child in the world. But this is what kids do. So it shows, all of the different things you can learn. And also the food you guys have. You have little a luncheon station. You guys have really good food. I don't know who your supplier is or how you find them, but it's always something a little step up from the average conference, I'll be honest.
Thank you. We always, also taking into account for sustainability, the food choices that we make, we put a lot of thought into that. And, people are paying money to come to our conference. So we want to make sure that we're putting out an experience that they're paying for. And that includes good food, in my opinion. We have some wonderful team members, 𝐂𝒐𝒡𝒍𝒆, Latif, who does a lot of our vendor coordination. And she, puts a lot of thought into all of the food choices for the Net Zero conference, not just what's hosted on the expo floor, but we also have our welcome happy hour that's going to be at Golden Road Brewery, where, some appetizers are going to be available. And then also our Trailblazer Gala, where we're going to have some options as well. So she puts a lot of good thought into that. And we try to, make sure that our food choices are sustainable as possible.
I'm so glad you brought up the Trailblazer Gala, because that was my next topic. Because since I started working with Drew and talking about this in the Net Zero conference, you guys have grown to about 1,500 attendees every year. And then you get this gala, which I've called the Oscars of Sustainability, because you guys award people who are leaders in sustainability and circularity and just getting it done. There's a lot of talk. There's a lot of people who say they're going to do things. These are the people that are actually doing it, and they are celebrated. So could you tell us more about the gala, how people could attend or be involved in that?
Yeah, we're actually mixing up the gala a little bit this year. We're kind of referring it to as the Oscars of Sustainability. There are going to be 15 nominees that will be announced soon. And of those 15 nominees, there will be 5 winners that will be announced live at the gala this year. So we're super excited about that. It's going to be at the House of Blues in Anaheim on September 18th. So you can purchase tickets on our Net Zero conference website. It is available for all access only this year. However, we have a lot of different opportunities to volunteer as well.
And I did want to talk about the ticket pricing. So the exhibition hall is very economically priced. I think you said it's like $20 just to go to the exhibition hall.
Yes.
Guys, for what you get for this hall and all the people you meet, the networking you'll have, and just to learn about some of the new tech out there and entrepreneurs, it's well worth it. But I believe, Chelsea, you said that there are certain exceptions, like students might get a discount or people who could use it. So how would people reach out to you for that one?
Yeah, absolutely. Through our website. So, if people need assistance through the tickets, that's something that we can absolutely and want to support, need-based tickets, students. We are providing AIA credits for continuing education this year. So we know how important it is for people to be able to, receive the credits that they need. So, all you have to do is reach out through our website and, share that you need some assistance, and our team will help support you.
That's fantastic. And getting credits, that gets expensive. I have a few licenses, and every year it's like, really? How many hours do I have to buy? And it's all insurance stuff. And this is, the Envision Sustainability Certification. So that, every year, it's a few hours, and then you take a test and then you renew it. So getting credits just for attending a conference is absolutely brilliant, because it really does save a lot of money for people who are paying their own bills. And I love that. I really do. So this year, could you tell people how they can register, the dates from the happy hour all the way to the gala, so they know the whole spread of the event, and the best way to contact you?
Yeah, absolutely. So the main conference day is going to be on September 18th at the Anaheim Convention Center. That's where we're going to have our morning keynotes, all of our sessions, our expo floor open all day, and then actually we'll be closing with a happy hour in the expo hall. So that's a really fun way, you know, to kind of close off the day with all of our exhibitors and attendees, ending it with a little bit of a party. And then we will have our Trailblazer Gala the evening of the 18th. That will be from 6:30 to 9:30. On September 17th, we are providing some fun opportunities because we really like to get involved, you know, in the city where we're hosting the conference. So we have a hike, a morning yoga, a hike cleanup, and then we also have our welcome happy hour, which is going to be at Golden Road Brewery right next to the Angel Stadium. So these are some wonderful, you know, networking opportunities where you can come meet some of the attendees leading up to the conference. We're actually also bringing back building tours this year. We haven't done this since 2019. So that's a wonderful opportunity as well, where you can have the, you know, choice to go to some of the building tours that are available from the LA to Orange County area. And that is available Monday, the 16th, Tuesday, the 17th. So some wonderful, you know, ways to get involved and see some wonderful buildings from LA to Orange County.
I love that. I mean, you guys are definitely so encompassing and all-inclusive of helping everyone. I mean, from day one when I met Drew, I mean, now mind you, I came from the insurance world and kind of, I was environmental. Yes, it's all kind of very similar, but sustainability is its own little animal. And there were some conferences I went to where people kind of cordoned off into their groups and you were not welcome. You were the new person. You guys encompass everyone. Every time I've gone to Net Zero, every time I've gone to any kind of vertical group event, everyone's welcome. Everyone's open. Everyone's like, hey, nice to meet you. Who are you? You know, let's get to know each other. You guys excel. I mean, you guys are brilliant at that. And for someone who was a newbie like 5-6 years ago, it was the first time I really felt welcomed. And, you know, I could ask questions and talk to people and ask stupid questions. I mean, trust me, when you're first starting out in this, you're going to ask dumb questions as any field. And it was never a scoff or a laugh or, oh, she doesn't know what she's talking about. It was, oh, yeah, well, that was actually technology from last year, but let's talk about technology from this year. That's how you do it. That's how you keep it inclusive and you help people, which is what Net Zero does, which is what Vertical Group does. You help people. So obviously I'm a fan. I love what you guys are doing. So I'm looking forward to every year that you guys do this because it is Christmas in September for me.
Well, thank you. And we're super excited. We're just trying to make, you know, a positive impact. We do try to incorporate, you know, those into our yearly goals where we have 50% women reflected as speakers and also 50% people of color reflected as speakers. So we achieved that goal last year. We're on track to achieve that this year. And just how can we improve ourselves and, you know, represent diverse voices at the Net Zero conference because we really want to use our platform as a place for good.
You guys do, and you do it well. So thanks, Chelsea, thank you so much for your time today. I really do love what you guys are doing.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate your time too.
Anytime. So guys, I'm Wendy Nystrom, your host with Environmental Social Justice. Please check out the Net Zero Conference. It is in Anaheim this year, September 18th, I believe I got that right.
Yes.
But you can also check out the happy hours. Go to the gala. I got to go one year. It's amazing. It's so much fun. So check them out. Net Zero Conference 2024 Vertical Group. You guys have a great day. We'll check you out later.